What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Nick Underhill. Nick Underskill. Not
He's
true.
overskilled,
He's overskilled, actually.
Okay.
Nick _Underhill on Twitter. neworleans.football is the site. I'm a proud subscriber for many years now. Damn near, I guess however long the site's been out, really.
Just turned 5.
5 years. Congratulations. I was about to say, I thought 5 years. Congratulations, Nick. 5 years, half a decade, man. It's incredible what y'all have built. I mean, hiring away Mikey T a little bit ago and a coup. I guess it was kind of a lot of bit or more a bit ago than I realize now. The inexorable march of time is funny that way. But the point is, I love this website, and it's the best way to keep up with the New Orleans Saints. So, New Orleans on Football, go check it out. Nick, what's up, brother? How we doing here on this Tuesday?
Doing good. Nothing going on with the Saints. You want to just wrap this up?
Yeah. No, it's not like we have an entire free agency or offseason to take care to point to. Well, I mean, okay, so here's that is actually where I wanted to start. It's probably a bad question because it's an incredibly broad question. But with everything's done, what are the high level takeaways about where you think the Saints moves are telling us, like how they feel about the team, right? How they feel about what they have, where they're going, what the goals are. How are you interpreting everything they've done to this point?
Yeah, let me preface this by saying that, like, I think that they should have leaned into the rebuild, and I'm not a tear it down to the studs guy, but I think they should have leaned into, hey, let's make this season a little bit more about eating cap and being a little bit cleaner next season. And there's a huge problem with talking about this team where when you say what you think they're doing, people yell at you as if you're the architect.
Yeah,
of the
if
team.
it's your opinion. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Absolutely.
Yeah, so like I'm just analyzing this. I think their moves are very, very, very clearly telling us what they've been telling us with their mouths for the last year, and it's that the injuries were a massive issue and that they were a way better team than they ended up showing in the final record. And look, I think there's two stems to this. The first stem is that there is a logical conclusion that being without all these players matters. Like, we wouldn't ever get on here and be like, yeah, they should cut Eric McCoy and Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Derek Carr and Demario Davis, and they would be a better team with a better chance of winning, where they should still win the same amount of games. That's insane analysis. But I think where it loses me is that, okay, everybody's healthy and you win 8 or 9. Like, is that enough? Like, do you just stand on that? Do you go to 8 and 9, and add Justin Reed and hope for the difference? Like, maybe it is. Look, the thing with this is they're going to get a chance to prove it, and they're going to be able to show us they're all wrong. But I just kind of fundamentally disagree with the idea that it was a good enough team last year. And, my whole thing with Derek Carr, going back to the beginning, and but regardless if you think Derek was the right move or the wrong move, once he was the move, I think there had to be a second step to this where you go all in around him. Like, if you are going to spend $33 million a year, whatever the average was on it, now it's up to 40. But, if you're going to do that, if you're going to, restructure his contract and you're going to do the path of hanging on to try to win, I want to see you make the moves to put him in a position where he can have the best chance to succeed, because he's not the guy that's going to take, two receivers and make Cedric Wilson a star. He's not that guy. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Drew Brees. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Like, you have to put, the T. Higgins, the Jamar Chase, like, these are the guys that you need to have. Like, you need to have high-level players around Derek Carr for Derek Carr to work. Devontae Adams is a feasible one that you could have went and got. And, I just think at the beginning, at the genesis of this, and I think we're past the point of expiration even. Like, I don't want to see him go all in around him, but if you're going to keep doubling down and that's going to be your choice at the beginning, you have to treat him as if he is a win with quarterback, not a win because quarterback. And I feel like a lot of what they've been doing is the win because. And he's not. He's not. He's fine. He's a fine quarterback. He's definitely not as bad as everybody thinks he is, but he's definitely not as good as the construction of this team would suggest he is. And I feel like it was kind of like, we're going to get Derek and just maintain relevance, but not do the thing to thrive. And, it's just, well, if you aren't going to try to thrive, why even try to make the effort to that? It doesn't make sense to me where a lot of stuff kind of feels like it is aimed at just kind of maintaining the relevance and hoping that, a couple of those coin flip games go your way and your grip on relevance tightens a little bit more. But that just feels like a tough way to live. And again, I don't believe in the full out tear down, start over, just burn it to the ground thing. But I do think that there is all right, let's avoid the highway here and catch it down here. And when we're, after we fill up and we're set to go. But I just don't necessarily love where they're at right now.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.